You ever walk into a room and just feel the temperature drop, like every single eye is looking through you instead of at you? That's how it was for me. Walking into Falcon Ridge Air Training Center that Tuesday in September, boots hitting the polished concrete, heat rising off the desert outside, sweat beading on everyone else's brow while mine stayed dry. Not because I was cool, but because I'd gotten real good at hiding nerves after years of living in places that officially didn't exist. But nothing really prepares you for the kind of silence that meets you when people have already decided who you are before you say a word. There she is, they whispered, the diversity hire, probably some senator's daughter. And man, if I had $1 for every time someone called me a paper pilot, good on paper, but can't fly for real. I'd own a plane, not just fly one dot, but I'd learned to let that stuff roll off. Confidence gets mistaken for arrogance, and arrogance gets weaponized real quick out here. So I kept my head down, eyes forward, let him talk. Tommy Walsh, lanky Texan, grinned sharp as a knife, leaned to his buddy Marcus, betting $20 I wouldn't make it to Halloween. They had no clue what I'd seen, what I'd survived, but I wasn't about to give them the satisfaction of a reaction. Captain Forrester, our instructor, checked roll call, my name dead last, like I was a puzzle piece jammed into the wrong box. Try to keep up, he said, not unkind, just matter of fact, like he'd already written my story in his head. Found my bunk in the far corner, unpacked regulation gear, stashed a little black notebook with things in it I wasn't supposed to know. At dinner, I sat alone, the chatter swirling around me, but never touching me. One of those moments where you realize being ignored is almost worse than being hated. You know what I mean? They called me Token before the first night was done, like my only purpose was to fill a quota. Tommy made sure everyone heard it. Hey Token, you ever actually been in a cockpit? 40 faces waiting to see if I'd crack. I just said, I'll manage, and left, his laughter trailing me out the door. That night I lay awake, fingers on that notebook, listening to the hum of the bass settling, engines roaring somewhere far off, and I told myself I'd been through worse. They could call me names, but I wasn't about to let them break me. The real challenge was proving I belonged, not just on paper, but in the air, where it counted. Next morning, Simulator Bay at 0500 felt like a church of technology, rows of cockpits humming, blue light flickering. I was early, habit you pick up when being late means people get hurt. Captain Forrester didn't even look up as he handed me my checklist, told me, try not to crash. Tommy was already boasting across the room about his daddy's Cessna and how real pilots don't come from nowhere. I slid into Simulator 7, hands moving over the controls like they had a mind of their own. The others were clumsy, overcorrecting, letting nerves win. But for me, it was just another day. Formation flying, turns, landings. My body remembered what my file pretended not to know. Tommy joked on the radio. Where's Token? Did she stall already? And Forrester told him to maintain discipline. But I could tell he was watching me, curious now. When the exercise ended, Tommy's landing was rough, mine smooth as silk. Forrester looked at my printout like it was a magic trick, pulled me aside, said, these scores are unusually high for a first-timer. Where'd you learn to fly? I said, small airports, weekend instruction, not technically a lie, if you stretch the definition of small and weekend. He said, sometimes it's better to be good than to be too good. And I got the message, don't stand out if you can help it. But Tommy wasn't about to let it go. That night, I caught him in the hangar, phone out, telling me he'd dug up my whole life. No social media, no school records, like I'd appeared out of thin air. His dad had Air Force contacts, and he was convinced I was a fraud, maybe a spy. I told him straight, you ever hear of a black operation? Watched his confidence flicker. Then I showed him the dark pilot wings I kept wrapped in black cloth. Told him about the transport crash over the Hindu Kush. Officially, no survivors, but the truth was Messier. Sometimes the dead need to stay dead for national security, I said, and you could see the gears turning in his head, fear settling in. I warned him, keep digging, and you won't like what you find. Some secrets protect everyone, not just the person who keeps them. He went pale, phone slipping from his hand, and I left him there, praying he'd finally get it. But you know how it is. Some folks can't let a mystery lie. Next morning, the whole base was buzzing. Tommy's friend Rodriguez, the one who'd been asking the most questions, got shipped out overnight for security reasons. Tommy tried to keep pushing, but doors kept closing, searches got flagged, and one by one, the people prying into my story disappeared into desk jobs or reassignment. Only Jake Rivera, the mechanic, seemed to get it. He'd seen me check systems the way only a combat pilot would. Some people are just grateful something works, Jake told Tommy, and know better than to ask why. Still, Tommy wasn't done. When the big evaluation flight came, Colonel Thorne, the legendary base commander, showed up in person, handed me an aircraft that wasn't standard issue. He read off my real file, called me captain to my face, laid out what he wanted. You're going to need to be the ghost pilot again, not some paper cadet. The mission wasn't training. It was a live op, a black flight into hostile airspace to confirm whether a convoy in Syria really had chemical weapons. No support, no backup, just me and a plane that shouldn't exist. The twist? My cover was gone. Thanks to Tommy, federal agents on base, my face on their tablets, all but accusing me of being the dead pilot from Afghanistan. I told them just enough truth to keep the mission alive, and with Thorne's help, I bought us 48 hours to get it done. Tommy, finally seeing the stakes, did what I asked, told the feds he was just jealous, made it up, took the fall. Might have cost him some pride, maybe even his career, but it kept both our lives safe. When the hour came, I suited up, climbed into that experimental bird. No call sign, no insignia, just stealth tech and nerves. The flight out was pure adrenaline. 50,000 feet over enemy territory, every system singing under my hands. Found the convoy right where intel said, took the shots, started my run home. And then, of course, all hell broke loose. Surface-to-air missiles, interceptors, the whole works. Damage to the left wing, warning lights everywhere. But old muscle memory kicked in. I flew that plane on instinct, through radar shadows, dodging death with every turn, until somehow, by grace or grit, I made it home. Barely. Colonel Thorne was there when I landed, face a mix of pride and relief. The intel saved lives. A surgical strike took out the convoy within hours. After that, I disappeared again. New name, new orders, the legend of the dead pilot living on in shadows. Tommy got reassigned, never said a word. Jake kept my wings as a silent thank you. And at bases across the country, every now and then, someone would whisper about a ghost pilot, a story too dangerous to tell. Maybe that's what real strength is, not demanding respect, but earning it, one action at a time. Sometimes the quietest person in the room is the one carrying the heaviest secrets to tell me. What do you think? Is it right for people to give up everything, even their identity, for the sake of something bigger? Can you really protect a nation with lies and legends? Drop your thoughts below. I want to hear what you believe about justice, truth, and the price of security. And if this story moved you, like and subscribe, because the world needs more reminders that ordinary faces sometimes hide extraordinary stories.